In this video we'll be looking at formulas, and in particular how to apply a formula in order to come out with a solution at the end. And these down here are examples of formulas converting from Celsius to Fahrenheit and also from Fahrenheit to Celsius. These over here are actually formulas. So there's a bit of language that we must understand first when we work with formulas, and the first one is, what is a subject? Well, the subject of an equation is the pronumeral that occurs by itself on the left hand side of the equation. For example, the t in this equation over here, t equals 4x plus 1. The t over here is the subject. That's what we are wanting to find. And secondly, of course, what is a formula? Well, a formula is a rule that contains two or more pronumerals or variables, one of which is the subject. So, for example, the big T over here. And in E equals mc squared, we have E being the subject, M and C are pronumerals, and we'll be given a lot of information to try and solve this equation. So to use a formula, we need to substitute all the known values into the equation and then solve it to find the final value. Alright, well here we have a little equation, so a is equal to 3b plus 2, and we need to solve this if b is equal to 5. So I need to substitute all values of b for 5. And that would look something like this. A is equal to 3 multiplied by 5 plus 2. So 3 5s are 15 plus 2 is equal to 17, therefore A is equal to 17, and that would be my answer. Alright, well with that in mind I have two other equations here for you. So see if you can solve this equation if B was equal to 10, and this one if A was equal to 23. Put the video on pause and come back, see if you got it right. Alright, well how did you get along? Well, I'm going to substitute B for the value 10. So I'm going to have 3 multiplied by 10 plus 2. 3 multiplied by 10, as we know, is 30, plus 2, and the answer therefore is 32. How'd you go with the second one? Well, I'm going to substitute A for 23, so this is going to be 23 is equal to 3b plus 2. Now remembering I need to get 3b by itself, so I need to get rid of this plus 2. So I'm going to subtract 2 from the left and subtract 2 from the right. So it's going to be 23 minus 2 is equal to 3b plus 2 minus 2. So you can see what I've done on the left hand side, which is the minus 2, I've done on the right hand side, and that will cancel those two out over there. And this will be 3b on the right, and 23 subtract 2 is going to give me 21. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I've got to say what times 3 is going to give me 21. Well, it has to be 7, so 7 is equal to b, and that would be the answer. Now we're going to look at applying a formula that involves 3 pronumerals. Alright, well here we go. We have a random formula and we have our various pronumerals. Obviously this one over here is the subject, so this is what we're trying to find. We're trying to find what r is, and we are given the values of t pronumeral and x pronumeral. So we need to substitute these values into our equation over here to solve for r. So it'll look something like this. Our r stays where it is, and our t becomes 10, and in our brackets we got 4 plus, and our x becomes 3. And remembering our BIMDAS rules, 10 multiplied by 4 plus 3 is 7. 10 multiplied by 7 has to be 70, therefore r must equal 70, and that's our answer. Alright, well here's another random formula for you to have a crack at. Remember, these are your pronumeral values. You need to substitute them into the equation and solve it. Put the video on pause and come back when you're ready. Well, it would look something like this. 7 multiplied by 3 plus 2 multiplied by 3. And where did I get this 3 from? Well, this is an x value, so it's this value over here. And this over here is a y value, which is this y over here. Rightio, so we'll multiply it out because it's brackets are multiplications. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 2 times 3 is 6. 21 plus 6 gives me 27, therefore G is equal to 27. Hope you got that one right. And that's pretty much all there is to using formulas.